The train derailment in Northern Manitoba raises a number of concerns. One, from a Northern economic development perspective, what we've always looked at from a Manitoba Chamber perspective is what is the long-term infrastructure needs and what are the challenges in Northern Manitoba? And this really speaks to it. For people that live in Northern Manitoba, the rail is an essential part of what they need in regards to infrastructure. For places like Churchill, it's essential when it's bringing tourists up to their destinations as well. And for having it shut down for what could potentially be up to 6 weeks, that's going to have a huge impact on Northern Manitoba. And for us, the concern is this isn't really about placing blame as to how it was caused or who's responsible for that. This is about looking more in terms of how we're going to solve this situation, how we look at this long term, how we make sure that we are dealing with the infrastructure needs in Northern Manitoba. So what the Manitoba Chamber of Commerce has done is that we've called on the provincial and the federal government to get engaged and to get involved in this situation. We need a long-term infrastructure strategy for Northern Manitoba. It is too important to our economy, it is too important specifically when it comes to tourism, and it's too important to these communities that we take this for granted. So what we're looking for is we're looking for leadership. We want to bring the different stakeholders together. We need to find solutions to this problem. This is something that's not going to be solved overnight, but it's something that we need to start making some headway on, and we need to start finding some solutions. This has come about really because of a need and a challenge about information. And what this speaks to as well, there's a need for better communication between when something like this happens and between the community so they can better understand what the potential challenges are, how the implications are going to be, how long this is going to last for them. That's something right now that they don't know. So we've reached out to organizations like Omnitrax and to Via Rail. They're doing a better job now of sharing that information with the various stakeholders about what the potential time frame is going to look like before that we're going to get back to some sort of normalcy. The challenge for the Manitoba Chamber and what we're concerned about is what this looks for long term. Because we've looked at this in terms of this is a key time in terms of tourism in Northern Manitoba, specifically in terms of Churchill, and getting residents and tourists to and from that destination is critical. So long term, what kind of message is this going to send if those residents or those tourists that have come up to go and check out the beluga whales are stranded in places like Thompson or Winnipeg and can't get to their destinations? We're concerned that we're sending a message that this is going to be long term, that they're going to send that message that this is not a good place to go because it's not reliable. We need to make sure that we've got reliable infrastructure and transportation in Northern Manitoba to meet the needs of residents and the tourism industry. I think the various level of governments understand the importance. I think when situations like this arise, I think it makes it a bit more challenging because there's immediacy to it. There is no long-term strategy that's in place for Northern Manitoba, and this really speaks to the need for that to happen. Infrastructure is a critical piece of that puzzle. How are we really going to develop Northern Manitoba? Infrastructure is a key piece that we really need some leadership on at both the provincial and a federal level.